Friends and devotees, I am Asim Datta. It is a privilege and an honor to join all of you in today's session. You all know Swami Amarathanandaji was conducting this Gita lesson. That was a lecture with all his knowledge and experience. I am not here to give you a lecture. I am just joining with all of you in this session and study as you all are doing. I am no scholar. I am no expert. I am just a student of Vedanta. Love it, study it, and think about it. With that, we're going to start today's session. Oh Lord, take us from unreal to real. Take us from ignorance to knowledge. Take us from darkness to light. Today, we are going to start with chapter 17. I think you all studied up to chapter 16. So we'll start with chapter 17 today. Let me start from the first verse. The title of this chapter is Saddha Trayo Vibhagajo. Saddha Trayo, three kinds of Saddha and the difference of all of that. Saddha Trayo Vibhagajo. Let me read a couple of verses from the beginning and then we'll start the discussion. Je Shastro Vidhim Shamusijjo Jajante Saddhayanita Teshang Nishtha Tuka Krishno Shattamaho Rajastama Trividha Bhavoti Saddha Dehi Nangcha Chabhavaja Shattiki Rajoshi Chaivo Tamoshi Cheti Tang Srinu Shattanurupa Sharvasya Saddha Bhavoti Bharata Saddha Mayohang Purusho Jo Jasiddho Sha Eva Sha Jajante Shattika Devan Jakho Rakkoshashi Rajosha Pretan Bhuta Ganashchante Jajante Tamosha Jana Ashastro Vihitang Ghorang Tappante Je Tapojana Dambho Ahankaro Sanjukta Kamurago Bilambita Karshayanto Sharirasto Bhuto Gramo Chetasho Manchoibanto Sharirang Tang Biddho Shuro Nishchayan Aharastapi Sharvasho Trividha Bhavoti Priyo Jaggostapostata Danam Tesha Vedamimam Sino Ayushatto Avalarogam Shukopriti Vardhana Rasha Snigdha Sthira Rida Ahara Shattiko Priya Kotu Amlo Labonakto Tushno Tikno Rukno Vidahino Ahara Rajosha Sashta Dukkha Shoka Pramodat Jato Brayam Gatorasho Puti Podjushi Tak Jat Uchishtopi Chamedang Bhojanam Tamasha Priyam. These are the first 10 verses of chapter 17. Chapter 17, if we analyze, we can see the difference. It has 28 verses, 28 text, and first and second one are nothing but question and answer from Sri Krishna. The first two verses are Arjuna's question and Sri Krishna's answer. So you can divide in three parts: the principles, the aspect of lifestyle, and finally, verse 23 to 28 is conclusion. So the question is, what are the three different kind of Saddha that Sri Krishna talking about? Now look at the beauty of this book, Bhagavad Gita. After 16th chapter, Arjuna still asking question. Even after 16th chapter and Sri Krishna's explanation of different aspects of Upanishadic principles, still Sri Krishna had questions, Arjuna had questions. What is his question? Now he is coming down to earth. This chapter is a very simple chapter, but very deep and very applicable to our everyday life. It really analyzes the characters of all of us, different people, how they are different. We see each one of us have different style, different food habit, different way of speaking, different way of living the life. And why is that? Why we are not exactly the same? Every individual is so different. So that is Arjuna's question. Let me now try to translate it. Arjuna Uvacha. What is Arjuna's question? Arjuna said, "Oh Krishna, what is the situation of one who does not follow the principles of scriptures, but worship according to his own imagination? Is he in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance?" Three types of quality: goodness, passion, ignorance. Sattva, Raja, Tamo. We heard this again and again in different chapters. Sri Krishna discussed all this in Karma Yoga, in Jnana Yoga, in Bhakti Yoga. All over it, these three words keep on coming repeatedly. Again, Arjuna is asking, what is the difference between all three of this group of people? Now, let's realize this. Why we need to learn this? We need to learn this not to judge others, not to watch out that Mr. X is like this, Mr. Y is like this. It is for our own sake. How can we analyze ourselves if we don't know the grammar? So in this chapter, Sri Krishna giving us the grammar, why I am like this, why I react like this, why I talk like this, why my food habit is like this. So this is so important, so down to earth, to our everyday living, to our nature. So again, Arjuna asking, what is the situation of one who does not follow the principle of scriptures? Now, question is, what is scriptures? Scripture is the authentic research, books, and knowledge. In today's world, if we compare what we should study, what we should follow by, we should follow by CDC. We're going through a COVID crisis. When there is a COVID crisis, whom we should follow? We go to the social media, look at YouTube and Facebook? No, we go to CDC. We go to FDA. If there is a vaccination, we follow the scripture, the authentic, age-old study and proven facts, proven knowledge. People who spend day and night, year after year, study the thing and came up with a solution. And that's what the scripture is all about. Today's world, in modern world, we have scriptures. We want COVID statistics. What do we go? We go to a John Hopkins study. Now, instead of that, if we go to wrong study, wrong Facebook, wrong YouTube, and it's happening. Today, you are seeing that there are a lot of authentic information, but a lot of misinformation floating around. Exactly same thing Sri Krishna is talking here, and Arjuna is asking the question. So with that, let's see what Sri Krishna is saying. Krishna said, according to the mode of nature acquired by the embodied soul, one's faith can be of three kinds: goodness, passion, or ignorance. Now hear about this. So Sri Krishna telling that this word is very important. Important why? Because all of us as the nature, inborn nature, if we Go back to chapter second chapter. Second chapter, Sri Krishna talks about Shankha Yoga, where he talks about the departed soul. Now, Shankha talks about Purush and Prakriti. Prakriti is the nature, the way we are built and we react to it. And we express ourselves, we run our life according to our own nature. And we are different from each other. Now, what is Sri Krishna telling with all this? That there are different aspects, starting with faith, how we worship. Now, what it does, our life is dictated by our faith, our belief, our knowledge, and our upbringing. Now, there are different ways we react to it. The first part is faith. Once we settle the faith, then it comes out our food. We have a body. We need to nurture our body. With body, we do work. Body, we think. So food is important. Food nourish our body and keep us healthy. And as long as we live, food is important. Then comes what are the rituals we do. So we have faith and worship, food, rituals, our conduct, how we behave, our speech. With speech, we express our thoughts and emotions. With speech, we hurt people. With speech, we love people. So speech is so important. Then comes the mind control. Finally, the charity. So these are the different way we run our life. So text 3, Sri Krishna telling, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. Again, it going back to the Shankha Yoga. Shankha Yoga, it talks about Purush and Prakriti. This is our nature. Next one, next verse. Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods. Those in the mode of passion worship the demons. And those in the mode of ignorance worship the ghost and spirits. Now the question is, why we are knowing this? Why we need to study this? We study to improve ourselves. This is the grammar. Once we know the grammar, we can judge ourselves. Then the question is, if this is so true, we are all according to our nature, then let's go home, forget it. I cannot do anything. That's it, right? So this is my nature. I love sweets. I love to go my own way, and there is no way to change it. Here is the question. Yes, there is a way to change it. And that's why we're studying this. Though it is true, all of us have our own nature, but there is something called viveka. Vivek is the quality of analysis, the knowledge. We have knowledge and power to analyze why we do this, why we are doing this. As long as we can tear it apart, then we can improve ourselves. Unless we want to improve ourselves, no reason to study this. This is the way we are, so forget it. Beautiful story, you see. Before we do that, let's go a few more verses. Next verse, Sri Krishna telling, those who undergo severe austerities and penance and recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride, egotism, lust, and attachment, who are impelled by passion and who torture their bodily organs, as well as the super soul, dwelling within are to be known as demons. He's explained who are the demons. Next one, even food of which all partake is of three kinds. Three kinds of food he's talking about. According to the three modes of material nature, the same is true for sacrifice, austerities, and charity. Listen, and shall we tell you of the distinction between them. So we learn why we need to do this. Two words in Vedantic study keep on coming again and again, Vivek and Vairagya. These two words are the key words in our studies. Everything in Sanatana Dharma is logical. The question faith is very distorted in the Western sense. Faith is not a blind faith. Faith is the confidence that, yes, we will do the study, gain the knowledge, improve myself. What is the goal? Trying to find that Brahman. The Brahman who is behind all of us. We are all searching for that. And in that search, we do analysis. We use our judgment. So unless we can use our judgment and improve ourselves, no reason to study books and scriptures. So bottom line is, we know, try to understand who we are. Do I have, now none of us are 100% Sattvic or 100% Rajasic or 100% Tamasic. This is the beauty of the Sanatana Dharma again. It never tells you that you are Tamasic, so you go to jail. That's it, forget it. You don't have any improvement to do. Yes, a Tamasic person can come up, become Sattvic, and repeatedly we have stories where they can improve themselves and came out to be a wise guy. Because everybody has hope. Everybody is part of that Brahman. And if we can follow the Brahman, then reach there, realize that truth. That truth is all scripture trying to go towards it. Then our study is fruitful, our knowledge is utilized. The beauty of this thing, you see, why we're getting there? Because Arjuna asking this question, these three nature everybody has. But that's not the end of the story. We can improve ourselves. Let me take you back to chapter 3. Chapter 3, very clearly, Karma Yoga, chapter 3, verse 33. Arjuna is asking the question, even a man of knowledge acts according to his own nature. For everyone's follow the nature, what can repression accomplish? Arjuna asked this, that well, everybody has their own nature. So somebody in Tamasic state or Rajasic state, he has no hope. That's what it is. No, Sri Krishna telling that there is a level where we use our judgment, and with that judgment, we can improve ourselves if we know what we are improving towards. Text 34 on chapter 3. Attraction and repulsion for sense objects are felt by embodied being. But one should not fall under the control of senses and sense objects because they are stumbling blocks on the path of realization. So Sri Krishna very clearly telling you that yes, you have hope. You can use your judgment and analyze yourself and improve yourself. You see, this is the beauty that Bhagavad Gita never talks the hopelessness. It is, we are never hopeless because we can always improve ourselves. And to improve ourselves, we need to do study, analyze ourselves. Saranam, Mananam, Siddhi. We need to study it, read it, analyze it, judge it, use judgment. Knowledge is spread all around. Just reading books and knowledge is not the end of life. Trying to apply to my own life is the bottom line. Now let's see what are the different ways. So faith and worship of three kinds, which is Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Now, according to the scriptures, what are the three things? It is so detailed that it amazes us that how we can miss this. Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods. Those in the modes of passion worship the demons, and those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. Now, this area gets very sensitive. This is people's faith. But again, scripture is very tough. Why we follow the people in the books from the scriptures? Because scriptures are age-old research and knowledge of experts. That's why we need to follow that. Just like in today's world, we have experts, we follow them. We cannot go to the information floating around all over the internet or all over the newspaper, all over TV. That's not authentic. And we know which are authentic, and that's what we need to follow. There is a beautiful story about all of this. Thakur Sri Ramakrishna was very explicit about these results. Vivekananda, you know all that. Vivekananda asked straightforward Thakur Ramakrishna that a lot of people in Indian culture, we have branches. There are people who worship with the dead body, with sex, with alcohol. Even the Kali Puja is, some of the sects are related to that. Vivekananda asked, Thakur, what is your opinion about all of this? You know what Ramakrishna said? Thakur Ramakrishna said, you want to go to the God through the bathroom door or the main door? Say, how straightforward the answer could be. Yes, you can go through the bathroom door to the palace, or you can go to the main door, main entrance. Main entrance is the entrance prescribed by the scriptures. And anything outside that is back door. Do you want to follow the back door? That was Ramakrishna's answer. So we need to worship, do our puja, do our worship based on the scriptures. Next comes the food. We need to nurture our body. What is the food habit? Those who undergo severe austerity and penance, not recommended in the scripture, performing them out of pride, egotism, lust, and attachment, who are impelled by passion and who torture their bodily organ, as well as the super soul dwelling within, are to be known as demons. So this is still, we're talking about faith. Now food. Even food of which all partake is of three kinds, according to the three modes of material nature. The same is true for sacrifice, austerities, and charity. Listen, and I shall tell you of the distinction of them. Now, what are the foods? It is so clear-cut reply or discussion that's hard to believe that we call this spiritual book. This is our everyday life. What food are good? Foods in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purify our existence, and give strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such nourishing foods are sweet. What kind of food? Sweet, juicy, fattening, and palatable. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, pungent, dry, and hot are like to people in the modes of passion. Such foods cause pain, distress, and disease. Food cooked more than 3 hours before being eaten, which is tasteless, stale, putrid, decomposed, and unclean, is food liked by people in the mode of ignorance. What more do you want? We have step-by-step suggestion what should be the food for people with sattvic nature, rajasic nature, or tamasic nature. Next comes the sacrifice. Of sacrifices, that sacrifices performed according to the duty and to scripture rule and with no expectation of reward is of the nature of goodness. Sattvic sacrifice is without any attachment, no expectation in return. That is sattvic. But the sacrifice performed for some material end or benefit or performed ostensibly out of pride and is of nature of passion, O chief of the Bharata. He is telling Arjuna, the sacrifice which have expectation and expect reward. I am doing this so I get this back. I am doing this study, doing this sacrifice, but in turn I need a placard in front of the building. That is of rajasic kind. And sacrifice performed in defiance of spiritual injunction, in which no spiritual food is distributed, no hymns are chanted, and no remuneration are made to the priest, and which is faithless, that sacrifice is of nature of ignorance. So we can do sacrifice, we can do yajna, but that will not be good unless it is selfless, unless we are unattached, because ragodesha, that is the two word with the attachment. The minute we expect something back, that become fruitless. That become fruitless. Next. I'm reading verse 11. Jato ayam gatorasho puti porjushi tansho jat uchishtaopi chamedang bhojanang tamasa priyam aphalo kanki bhiggositto vididishto ja ijjate shashto babameti mano samadhayo sasattika Obhishandayo tu phalang dambhartamapi chaibo jat ijjate bharata srishto tang jagga vidhi rajasam vidhihino sishtanang mantrahinam dakshinam saddha virohitam jaggang tamasang parichakkate devo dijo guru praggo pujanang Shojyamarjabam brahmacharyam ahimsacho sharirang tapauchyate. Anudbego karang bakko tasyo priyohitang sajat Swadhyaya bhasanang chaiva bhangmayo tapo uchyate. Verse 11, again, we talk about verse 11 of sacrifice, that sacrifice performed according to the duty and scripture's rules and with no expectation of reward is of nature of goodness. And that sacrifice performed in defiance of scriptural injunction, in which no spiritual food is distributed, no hymns are chanted, and no renunciation are made to the priest, and which is faithless, that sacrifice is of the nature of ignorance. The austerity of the body consists in this worship of the Supreme Lord, the Brahman, the spiritual master, and the superior like the father and the mother. Cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, non-violence are also austerities of the body. Austerity of speech consists in speaking truthfully, beneficially, and in avoiding speech that offend others. One should also recite the Vedas regularly. So, faith, we already saw it. Food quality, different rituals that we follow, our conduct, all of these are of three kinds. Our speech, our mind control. We cannot accomplish any successful work unless we can have concentration. Concentration is nothing but mind control. Our mind is continuously floating around. Our idea is to put that mind, and that's why you go through meditation. And finally, we do charity. All of this, again, with three groups of nature, goodness, passion, ignorance. What are the results? In goodness, food, wholesome, juicy, pleasing, sattvic food. What are the results? Long life, purify our soul, strength, disease-free, and happiness. In passion, bitter, sour, hot, pungent, burning. Result, distress, misery, disease. Ignorance, tasteless, decomposed, untouchable things. Infection, disease, contaminating, early death. Result is early death. Sacrifice in three different modes as per scriptures, as a matter of duty, for no reward. Sattvic sacrifice, expect no reward. No thank you note. No thank you note. In Rajasic nature, we see for some material benefit, for the sake of pride. And in ignorance, the conduct without direction of scriptures, distribution of our labor, our knowledge, chanting of Vedic hymns, remuneration to the priest, and follow the faith. Again, all these three going through goodness, passion, ignorance, Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Now, don't forget, this is again not to judge others. This is to improve ourselves. When I have the grammar, I know where I stand. what I do good, what I don't do good. You see, with this nature is a common thing. I love sweets. Now, at the same time, I know that it might cause me diabetic. I could be diabetic, right? If I have that knowledge, then I should apply that. I should control. And that's what I went back to chapter 3, where Sri Krishna telling that, no, don't tell me that you are involved with it because this is your nature. Okay, let's go home. I cannot do anything because this is my nature. So I'll be what I am. No, we can improve ourselves. And improvement comes from the fact by analysis, by viveka, by judgment. We judge ourselves, improve ourselves, and that's why we need to do this. What are the different conduct? Goodness conduct, respect, worship as a duty. We worship, we respect others, we do our studies because we want to improve ourselves. In passion, respect for selfish motives, desire for self-gratification. Ignorance, self-torture to get power to destroy others. In speech, truth, pleasing, beneficial. That is goodness. Passion, manipulative, gossip, as per their selfish need. Ignorance, lying, agitating, harming others. What are the results? Satisfied and content. A Sattvik person is always satisfied and content. Passion, dissatisfied and anxious. It's a beautiful examples, you know. Ignorance, bewildered and illusioned. Why Rajasic is dissatisfied? Because it has a profit motive. He expecting something in return. And when we don't get it, again, Karma Yoga talks about raga, desha. Attachment is so strong. I need something in return. Somebody need to praise me. Somebody need to give me something. I have to get some benefit out of something. And when I don't get that, I become anxious. So, but all of us are combination of all of this. It is not an extreme Sattvik person is rare to find. And once they get it, those are the people like Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna, or Guru Pranavanandaji Maharaj. Those are very rare. All of us are combination of all these three qualities. Sacrifice out of duty, no expectation, proper time and place according to scripture toward the person. Passion, expect return. Clear formula, passion, if we expect return, then it's in passion. For enjoyment, grudging mode, because I didn't get the reward. Somebody need to praise me, I need some benefit out of it. If I don't get that, I get upset. Ignorance, impure place, improper time, unworthy person. So, what we saw so far is how we act based on our faith, our food habit, our rituals, our conduct, our speech, our mind control, our charity. Beautiful story. You see, a lot of people ask this. If you read Mahabharata, Sri Krishna giving this lecture to Arjuna. Why? Because Arjuna asking question. Now, all of this Bhagavad Gita will not be written if Sri Krishna could stop Duryodhana, he could stop Duryodhana to fight. Mahabharata story, there is a fight between Duryodhana and Arjun and the two groups, Kaurava and Pandava, and they are fighting. Right before the fight. Now the question is, why Sri Krishna didn't stop Duryodhana to fight? Instead of giving lecture to Arjun, he could have gone to Duryodhana and say, hey, stop this. Did he do that? Yes. Mahabharata explained that yes, 3 times Sri Krishna went to Duryodhana and told him that, look, stop this fight. This will destroy all of us. It will destroy you, both the Kaurava and Pandava. Even the night before the fight, he went to Duryodhana and he asked, why you are doing this? Why you are not stopping? You know what was Duryodhana's answer? He says, look, don't give me lecture. I know what it is. I know what is the result. But I have to do this because this is my nature. I want this. This is my destiny. I am this way. I cannot help it. I have to go through this. Arjun had this similar question. Arjun didn't want to fight. He says, no, I'm not going to kill my relatives and win this empire. No, I don't want that. But the difference between Duryodhana and Arjun is Arjun asked the question. Arjun asked the question which prompted Sri Krishna to explain in 18 chapters, again and again, repeatedly. He keep on asking question unless he's clear that what it is, why it is. So that is the difference with this chapter between knowing this and judging others or judging myself and trying to improve it. Someone who doesn't ask question, he cannot improve himself. We need to ask question. This is a beautiful analogy, beautiful story that unless we ask question, that's what Bhagavad Gita is all about. It's not a lecture. If it was a lecture in 1 chapter, it could have been finished. There are a lot of religious books which are lectures. So it tells, do this, do this, do this. And if you don't do this, go to hell. Bhagavad Gita doesn't tell us that. Bhagavad Gita tells us that we can improve ourselves. No matter where we are, we can improve ourselves. Why? By judgment, by analyzing, by study. And that is the knowledge Bhagavad Gita is all about. Let me read a couple of more verses. I'm studying, reading text 11. Adhatto gyano nitang tatto gyano athat darshanam etat gyano miti praptam gyanam jatto hanattha gyo jattat pravakhami jaggata smito smute anadi parang brahma na sattuna sam uchchate parvato pani padam tat sarvato khiti shiro mukham sarvato sutimalloke sarvama britto tishtoti sarvandriyo gunabhasam sarvendriyo viborjitam asaktam sarvabhutasya nirgunam gunabhakta bahirantasya bhutanam namochar charomevo cha Sukhatat tad vigyo durasto chantikecho tat abhibhakto cha bhuteshu vibhaktamivo cha sthitam bhutabhatru cha tagogyo grashishu prabho Vishnu, jyotishamopi tajyotistam paramuchyate, jnanam geo jnanagammo Riddhi sarvasya visishtam iti khetra jatha jnanam geo chastang samasato mad bhakto etat viggaya mad bayos padpaduchate prakiting purushanshaiva bindhanadi ubhavapi vikarangsho gunaschaiva bindhi prakriti sambhavan karya karana kartitte hetu prakriti ruchyate purusho sukhananam bhakti to hetu rachyate. That is the end of chapter, the end of text 20. Text 15, austerity of speech consists in speaking truthfully and beneficially, and in avoiding speech that offend one. Should also recite the Vedas regularly. If we use our speech to offend others, that's not the purpose. That is against, it just creates problems, right? But why we do this? Because of my attachment. Attachment brings anger, passion, and we react. It's all for me. I am the perfect. I'm telling is everything right. Text 16, and serenity, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purity of thought are the austerities of the mind. Threefold austerities. What are threefold austerities? Practiced by men whose aim is not to benefit themselves materially, but to please the Supreme, is of the nature of goodness. Those austerities, penances, and austerities which are performed in order to gain respect, honor, and reverence are said to be the mode of passion. They are neither stable nor permanent. And those penance and austerities which are performed foolishly by means of abstinence and self-torture, or destroy or injure others, are said to be in the mode of ignorance. Then the 20th text, the gift which is given out of duty at the proper time and place to a worthy person and without expectation of without return is considered to be charity in the mode of goodness. So sacrifice, there are a lot of ways people do fasting, charity, but if that is done without following the scriptures, if we do penance to improve our soul, to improve our mental being, then that is good. But if with some material benefit, somebody looking at me, I'm doing fasting and doing all this puja. No, that's not the result. That's not what we are looking after. Okay, so all sacrifices, mind control, and charity, all of this could be of three group of way: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Again, none of these are 100%. Even a Rajasic person with analysis, that's the beauty of the Sanatana Dharma. Everybody has both. And that's why there is no extreme great person or extreme bad people. We all can improve if we know what we are doing, why we are doing, and follow the scriptures. So conduct, respect, worship as a duty. Respect, selfish motive, desire for self-gratification, Rajasic. Ignorance, self-torture to get power to destroy others. Let's go a few more verses. Three words keep on coming: Sattvic, Rajasic, and Tamasic. I'm going to read text 21. Jottu pratyupakarartho phalo mudisya va punah diyate cha pariklishtam tadatnang rajasang smitam adesho kale jaddano patrabhasyo diyate asatkritamo paggato tattamo samudrittam Om Tatsaditi Nirdesho Brahmana Vidhi Vihito Smrito Brahmanante Vedascho Jaggasho Vihita Pura Tashmadomito Radhittang Jaggodano Tapokriya Prabhante Vidhanokto Shatato Brahmavadinam Tadittano Vidnayo Phalang Jaggat Kriya Dano Kriyascha Vividha Kriyante Mukha Kamobhi Shadbhave Sadubhave Cha Shaditte Prajutate Prashante Karmuni Tatha Shachacho Partha Jujjate Jaggetaposhi Dane Cha Sthiti Shaditi Chuchate Karma Chaivo Tadarthiya Shaditto Vidhiyate Ashuddhaya Utang Dattang Tapastapang Kritang Shajat Ashodi Chuchate Partho no Chatatpreto O Ya. Again, text 21st. But charity performed with the expectation of some return or with a desire for future fruitful action in a grudging mood is said to be charity in the mode of passion, Rajasic. The charity performed at an improper place and time and given to unworthy persons without respect and with contempt in charity in the mode of ignorance. From the beginning of creation, the three syllables Om Tat Sat have been used to indicate the supreme absolute truth, Brahman. They were uttered by Brahmins while chanting Vedic hymns and during sacrifice for the gratification, satisfaction of the Supreme. These three words, Om Tat Sat, these are the key words in the Upanishad. Om Tat Sat, that is the one. Om Tat Sat. Thus, the transcendentalist undertakes sacrifice, charities, and penance, beginning always with Om to attain the Supreme. One should perform sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word Tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from the material entanglement. This attachment is the key for all our suffering. Why we are doing all this? Because we want happiness. We want peace. With all our life, we are continuously working and then getting tangled in asking for reward because of our attachment. Only way we get out of the attachment is do work without sacrifice. I think with that, we'll end today. And next week, we'll start the conclusion part, discuss a little more. Hopefully, I was able to explain little more to all of you.